Much. I've not had to follow Randy before. You know, I couldn't help but think as I drove through Main Street today, McAllister, I had a chance to reminisce about the first time I traveled down here to McAllister. It was 1976. I'd taken a position working for a company out of St. Louis, and they gave me an assignment here in McAllister, and that was some of the first time I had a chance to spend in Oklahoma. I settled in Oklahoma in 1979. And I had the job of marketing a computerized analysis of electrocardiograms, and traveled throughout the state marketing that to small town family practice physicians and rural hospitals. The reason I mention that is I'm going to give you 3 reasons to select me as your Lieutenant Governor. Reason number 1, I know the state of Oklahoma. During that time of traveling, I basically had the responsibility for the whole state. Also got out towards Guymon. But it was 1989, I had the opportunity to serve in the capacity of marketing soft contact lenses. Called on Dr. Smith, located here in McAllister. But I've traveled extensively throughout the state. Day after day after day after day. I know the product. If the Lieutenant Governor is going to be the #1 salesman for the state of Oklahoma, I know the product. Reason number 2, I've learned state government. In the past 6 years, I've had the opportunity to chair the House Agency Oversight and Administrative Rule Committee. Every entity that comes up for sunset review, and they do it every 6 years, we've seen all of state government that's up for sunset review. The executive department functions by way of administrative rule, and in chairing the committee, become intimately familiar with the administrative rule process. Today on the governor's desk is a review of the emergency rule process. Some of the concerns that people have about government is the way in which it enacts policy. And we're trying to constrain and protect the citizens' rights in the way in which government functions. But by serving in this capacity, I've had a chance to learn state government. And the third reason, I know the state government. The third reason, I'm extremely familiar with the principles that define us as conservative Republicans. I have long held to the principles of the Republican Party, and I know what's at stake in defending those principles. You know, the policy is pretty subtle. There was a bill that recently came through the legislative process that was reclassifying pharmaceuticals, delegating that policy to the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Kathleen Sebelius, as if she doesn't have enough to do with the new health care bill. I was the only no vote in the whole legislature because I saw what the change in the policy was attempting. You know, those that are trying to remove the rights of the citizens, the policy looks like a 5,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and you have to be able to see the incremental steps that are being taken that remove your rights and privileges. I've caught those policies in the legislature. I expect to continue to stand for the conservative principles that protect your freedoms and your liberties. I'm asking you to hire me as your next Lieutenant Governor so I can promote and advance and sell, if you will, the state of Oklahoma. I know the state, I know state government, and I know the things that define us as conservative Republicans. And it would be an honor to serve you in the capacity of the office of Lieutenant Governor. Since I have just a little bit of time, I want to close by talking about this one thing. Most of us have seen the show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And you're granted 3 lifelines if you don't know the answer to the question. One of those lifelines is the opportunity to ask the audience. The audience that has had a chance to see me work over my 12 years in the Oklahoma State House of Representatives, my fellow Republican caucus colleagues, on 4 different occasions, have voted to entrust me with additional responsibilities within the caucus. They've watched me debate, they've watched me amend bills, they've watched me question the policy and serve in the different responsibilities within state government. And on 4 occasions, they've asked for me to embrace additional leadership responsibilities. I'm asking you to have the opportunity to embrace those responsibilities with the office of Lieutenant Governor, and it will be an honor to serve you in that capacity. Thank you very much.